She's the friend who'll show up with coffee or wine when you need it most. But probably wine. Good vibes are on the way. Welcome to Aaron O'Malley's Feel Good Frequency.
Hi, welcome back to Aaron O'Malley's Feel Good Frequency. I love having you here. So this is the second half of my chat with Elizabeth Smart. I loved spending time with her. She is an incredible human doing amazing things with her life. She's making the world such a better place. And one of the things that you're going to hear that literally made my jaw drop is the worst thing that anyone ever said to her. And it just so happened to be a man on a date. Warning, warning, gentlemen, never, ever, ever say anything like what you're about to hear to another living soul. Something else in this interview, actually, it happened right after it. I had asked her about Wanda Barzee, and she ended up getting out of prison way sooner than anybody thought she should ever be out of prison. But you'll hear why. And I asked her if she was afraid that someday this woman would just show up on her front door. You will hear her answer. And literally right after I talked with her, I found out that that woman was arrested in Salt Lake City, Wanda Barzee. And this is the official statement that was put out by the Elizabeth Smart Foundation about this incident. Elizabeth has continuously expressed concern over Wanda Barzee's release, and this incident highlights exactly why we must listen and center survivors in our legal process. We're grateful to the Salt Lake City Police Department for their commitment to survivor-centered practices after Barzee's arrest. We urge policymakers, justice officials, and the public to learn from this event, especially in cases that are not as widely publicized as Elizabeth Smart's. Here is part 2 of my time with Elizabeth Smart. I just want to backtrack just real quick because I was thinking about the book. So you wrote my story in 2013, and that it almost felt like reading your diary of what happened. And while I'm sure it was so hard to write, was it cathartic at all too? Just to kind of put it out there?
It just felt like, I don't know if cathartic is the right word. I'm not, I agree that many times talking about certain things, help us process them and let them go. I'm not really sure that did that for me.
I guess I was thinking about the fact that you saw stuff on like tabloids and stuff. Like, you know what? If my story is going to be out there, I'm going to tell my
But
story.
yes, in that sense, 100%. It did feel like I was trying to give, I don't know, justice to my story and kind of set the record straight. And I tried when we were writing it, I tried so hard to be true to myself, to be true to the girl that I was. And I tried to write it from my 14, 15-year-old perspective. And it was really interesting writing it because the more that I thought about it, it reminded me of other memories that had faded the way some memories do. And it was a very interesting experience.
So then you got married in 2012. I just want to make sure that
Yeah.
people know that, because I know you said it before, but I love the fact that you got married. I think your wedding was covered by People magazine.
Yeah, it was.
Wow, this girl did not ask for all this, but that is pretty incredible that she's in People magazine and everybody was cheering for you, which I love.
Yeah. No, it was, yeah, it was great.
That is so fun. And then in 2018, oh my gosh, this book, I actually loved it so much that I bought the Audible version as well, because I feel like it's even more powerful when you can hear your voice tell the story. Where There's Hope felt like you were explaining what got you through everything. And I love how you reached out to people who inspire you, and you wanted to know because all these people went through their own traumatic experiences, as pretty much all of us do, but you wanted to know what got them through. And the thread was hope. And that
Yes.
is so powerful.
Well, I mean, I felt like, I understand if not everybody relates to me. Like, I understand if people look at me and they're like, oh, well, you're a white blonde girl from Utah. Like, your experience, you had a family to go back to, you had so much support, everybody cared about you. Like, what, like, okay, sure, you went through something, but outside of that, what do you know of hardship? And like, I can understand, I can understand not everyone will connect with me, and that's okay. But as I went and I interviewed all of these other people and included all of their stories, I just felt like maybe you don't connect with me, and that's okay, but there's someone in here that you will connect with. There'll be something that someone else says that you're like, yes, I relate to that. That resonates with me. I understand that. And so I felt like it would be so much more impactful having a broad array of people included.
And you, the first interview you did, I'm a mom, you're a mom. No one has to look any further than your mother to know where your strength comes from, because that reading that and then hearing you read it gave me chills from head to toe. So, your mom's the first interview, and I didn't know this and what that poor woman had on her plate and what she was going through before everything happened with you. Her dad, your grandpa, was diagnosed with a brain tumor, I think for like 3 months before. And then his funeral was the day before you were kidnapped.
Yep.
Now, your mom is spending those 3 months as a caregiver to him, and she's got, was it 6 kids at that point?
Yep.
That's a
Yep.
juggling act. Good God. Just that in and of itself is unbelievable. God bless her. So he passes away. You go to the funeral. And then that day, your mom's like, you know what? I'm going to cook healthy meals for us, and we're going to all be on the right track. And, she's going to make this dinner. And then your dad was late from work, and you had something you were running or something, and you were a little bit late, and somehow she burned the dinner. And so
Yeah.
she opens, God bless her. She opens the window in the kitchen to just air out the burned dinner. Then you have something going on. Was it maybe your 8th grade graduation? Because I know the
It
harp
was
fit in
like
one car.
the rewards, like, how like you can get awards for like, oh, like you did well in your French class, or oh,
Oh,
you
yes.
scored high in the, like, whatever. It was the awards assembly that night. Yeah.
And were you playing your harp there?
I was supposed to play prelude music. Yeah.
So the harp is in one car. You got the kids in another car. You take both cars. You go to the school. You come home. Everybody gets ready for bed. They're doing their own thing. And that night, Brian David Mitchell cuts through the screen from that open window and gets you.
No, by that point it wasn't even fully open anymore.
Yeah.
Like, my dad had mostly like cranked it shut. It just, the latch wasn't locked into place.
I look at the strength of your mother, like how horrific that must have been for her, and you interviewing her was so powerful because that side of it, what they must have been through, but then to hear some of the specifics of all the weight your mom was carrying. And I love how she said your 3-year-old brother, at the time he was 3, would come in every morning, be like, "Mommy, what are we going to do today? Like, let's go do something," and that would be her getting out of bed. I'm getting out of bed. I gotta help. I gotta help. I got the other kids. I gotta help. And but your 3-year-old brother specifically just kind of gave her this beautiful strength, and to the point that she never ever gave up that she was going to find you. And when school came around that year, back to school, she bought you outfits and
Yeah.
had them waiting for you.
Yeah.
What remarkable faith.
I mean, I don't think it was always easy. Like I
Oh
think there
God,
were
no.
times that she did have to step back a little bit because she felt like she could not be in that space where my dad was at and still be a mom to my five other brothers and sister. So I mean, I think there really did come a point for her where she just could not continue the way that she was, and she just had to focus on being the mother to the rest of my family.
And wow, she's the rock. I'll tell you. Wow, is she a rock? And I think that it's such an important point that you make in this book and that you continue to make in life is that we cannot control what happens to us. The only thing we really have control over is how we're reacting to it. And that's kind of what you're just saying about your mom. Like this is the only thing I can control at this moment is my prayer, my faith, and how I'm going to handle it next.
Exactly.
It's just absolutely a beautiful interview. And it was so obvious after reading it where you get your strength.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And God knows your dad as well. As I said, like quintessential dad, and that he's gonna help other people. And I love that he continued that. So you'd said like, oh yeah, if I ever write another book, maybe I'll have her in it. Do you think you'll ever write again? Because you really are a great writer.
I'd never say never. I feel like if I've learned anything, never say never. As soon as you say you're never going to do something, I swear it's bound to happen.
It's so true. It's absolutely true. So that horrible evil man is in jail forever. Yay. Uh, but I have to ask this. So Wanda Barzee, that wife of his, she's out of prison.
Yep.
I hate that.
Yeah, I was not happy about it because I mean, even before she was married to him, she had a prior marriage and she had six kids in that prior marriage. I mean, and they all would have been older than me. Um, but
I didn't know that, girl. I did not know that. Holy crap.
yeah, and when I was first brought into that hidden campsite, I felt relief because there was a woman there, and I just remember thinking, oh, if there's a woman here, then like nothing truly terrible can happen to me. Um, but not only did she let it happen, but she had been a part of it. She planned it and she encouraged the abuse to happen. And I mean, yeah, she was a part of it. And I just feel like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like, I guess I'm the kind of woman that if I saw another woman struggling, like just because she's a woman, I'd automatically want to help her.
Oh, you better believe it.
Like,
If I see somebody, you can yell, call me, like act like I'm your aunt or your mom or whatever. And if something's happening, but I hope people do that. I hope women do that. I am the biggest cheerleader of other women. I would never ever let a woman suffer in front of me.
and especially now, like now I have my own kids, but like if I ever saw anyone else hurting another child,
Ugh.
like because now that I am a mother and like I worked so hard to get you here and like I have like devoted, my life to your well-being. And if I saw a child being hurt, like I could never hurt another child.
Never.
I could never hurt um or stand aside and see a child be abused. I could never do that. And so the fact that she was a mother and she stepped aside and allowed that to happen, I felt she was every bit as bad and evil as he was. Um,
The fact that she had her own kids and her own marriage and family before all this, like part of me feels like she's almost worse. How do you let that happen to a child? You're supposed to be a nurturer. You're supposed to be the one watching out for the kids. And I don't understand. Did she make some sort of a deal to flip on him or something? How in the world did she only get 15? Is that what it was? 15 years?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
even think you get that for that's like robbing a bank or something. I think you get more for that. Oh my god, it makes me so mad.
Yeah. So but the crazy thing is that was actually the max that she could get. Like when they brought it to me and they're like, "How do you feel about this?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "She was there. Like she contributed to
She was
everything."
a willing participant in the entire thing.
Yes. They were like, "I understand, but this is actually the max that she could get anyway." So I mean that kind of felt like a kick to the stomach when I found that out. And then of course when she was released, that was very disappointing.
Do you ever worry that she'll suddenly someday show up at your doorstep?
Um, I feel like if Brian Mitchell was released, he definitely would. I feel like if they were in communication, there's a chance that she would. Um, but also, I just feel like I cannot live my life in fear. I cannot like we only have so much time on earth and no one knows how long that is and honestly there's a lot of things I want to do with my life and worry about her is just not one of them.
Good. Good. That makes me really happy to hear. And he can never get out, right?
That is correct. Yes.
Your 14-year-old self is so proud of you.
Mhm.
I mean, so proud of you. Do you ever kind of step back and be like, "Yeah, I've come a long way. I'm I'm pretty proud of myself." I mean, privately,
um
because you should.
yeah, I mean there's a lot of things that I'm proud of myself for doing. um but I feel like there's like at my core I'm still me.
Yep.
And so yeah.
And I love that. I love that. I love that they didn't take that. They could take certain things and you didn't let them take your spirit. You didn't let them take Elizabeth Smart. And you went on to have, and you've said you had to fight for it, but you went on to have the fairy tale in many ways that you dreamed of when you were a kid. You always wanted to be a mom, and I love that you are. And when you talk about your kids, you just glow. It's just so adorable. You've got this great husband who's super supportive, and you're traveling all around the country, helping other women and empowering them. And yeah, your 14-year-old self is super proud.
Thank you. Yeah, I certainly have had a lot of support, a lot of help, a lot of inspirations along the way. Like I wouldn't be who I am if I hadn't had all of that.
You were on America's Most Wanted Missing Persons. In the past few weeks, I've seen you on there. And oh, by the way, and I walked by this the other day. I'm like, and she's even on a magazine again. I was like, you go, girl. So, what is next for you? Are you going to keep doing the America's Most Wanted, or can you kind of let us in on your plans? Do you have anything that you're doing right now that you want to talk about?
I mean, there's so much I still want to do. I mean, with like my foundation, there's so many things that I want to take on. I mean, it's a tough economy right now, so we are taking it one day at a time at the foundation. But I mean, and like we are working hard on the programs and initiatives we already have, but there's so much space that I want to move into. For example, I want survivors to know that like going through rape and sexual violence and abuse is horrific, and And I understand, and I don't blame or judge survivors who decide that they cannot be in relationships anymore. Like I understand that, and like if that's where they are, that is where they are. But I also want to give so many of them hope that like you, because bad things have happened to you, it doesn't mean you should preclude yourself from moving forward in your life or that you should shut out future love from your life. And I think there are some really big conversations that need to be had when we talk about rape, sexual violence. That is not love. And we need to talk about what like love and healthy intimacy really are and help people understand that there's a difference and that you can come back from being in an abusive relationship, marriage, rape. You can come back from these things and you can still go on to be have healthy intimacy, to have positive sex in your life. I would love to move into that space. I feel like this is something that is really important that is not being talked about. And I look back at my own experience. I was raised in a very conservative community. Like, I love my childhood. I'm not complaining about it, but a lot of pressure was put on the fact that you needed to be a virgin before marriage and that, chastity, purity, virtue, like it all kind of was the same thing, which was don't have sex before marriage. Because if you do, like nobody will want you kind of thing. And that really was one of the worst things for me during my captivity because I felt like if I was rescued, nobody would want me. Nobody, like I would be less than everyone else. I would be a social pariah, so to speak.
Wow, what another
And
level of pain for you. My goodness. I'm so grateful that you're spreading that awareness because that's heavy. That's a heavy burden to carry.
and so now I just like these are really, really important conversations to to have. Like they need to take place. And I'm not like how do I even say this? That's nothing. You have to think so hard about it because it is a touchy topic and sometimes people pay more attention to the words than the intention behind it. If
Right.
you
I totally
know
know what you mean. And then
know
they'll
what I
pick out
mean.
little things and that'll be like the sensationalized headline of something. It's like, no, that's not what I was trying to
Exactly.
say.
Exactly. And so I don't want that to happen, but um like I just want education to be given. I want there to be an understanding. If you are going to talk about, I mean, we talk about maturation, for example, in fourth and fifth grade. And why are we like, and then we go through the miracle of life, even being from Utah, very conservative state. But, in high school, there's a whole section in health class about sex ed and
In junior high health class, you conveniently skipped the day of the miracle of birth. I
that's
laughed out loud
exactly
at
what
that.
there's the miracle of birth in junior high. If we're going to talk about that, we also need to say that is different from rape. And at any point that you say no and your wishes are not respected, if you are even more than that, even if you don't say no, but you are not actively like enthusiastically engaging in sex, then then you shouldn't be having it and whoever you're with shouldn't be forcing it on you or pressuring you into it. I
100%.
love what I love what Matthew McConaughey said. I think it was in his book. But and I'm gonna butcher his quote, but he said that his dad said to him, like, and again I'm butchering this, I'm not quoting it word for word, but he said something to the effect of, if you're ever about to have sex with a woman and she's not in at 100%, do not have sex with her. Like, if she doesn't want it equally or more than you do not have sex with her.
Wow,
There'll be other women, there'll be other times.
that is a mic drop moment.
And I just love that so much because that's true. Like, how many women have I met who were like, "Oh, I've just struggled with this for years. I didn't want to have sex. My boyfriend kept telling me this, he kept telling me that, and he said if I really loved him, I'd have it with him, and I never wanted to do it, but I felt like I had to. I felt like I had to, or like he was going to break up with me, or I felt like and I'm just like, okay, that's not actually like healthy sex. That's not actually healthy intimacy. That's
That's
actually rape.
manipulation. That's not
That's
love.
rape. That's
Right.
coercion.
Right.
That's rape. And so I just feel like these conversations are so important to being had, or women who they don't think what happened to them was rape because they were married and it was their spouse that did it to them.
I see stories like this a lot on a show that you probably don't watch because I know that after talking about things like this and how heavy it is, you like fluffy things, which I don't blame
Yes.
you. And I got to start watching more fluffy things. But I do love Olivia Benson on SVU,
Oh
Law and
yeah.
Order SVU. Now
Yeah.
she's just a badass. But so many episodes I've seen have been about married couples and a woman that's forced into having sex when she doesn't want to. That's rape. And I've learned a lot actually from that show. So I love that you want to take your real life organization and your real life, nonprofit and make it so other women are really aware. It's not just on TV. This is real life. That's not okay. And how many women are in families too? I love that you also said, look, you find your family. If your actual family, blood relatives are not supportive, you find your family because how many women are told, oh, just we don't talk about that.
Or too many.
Yes.
Too many.
Oh, what do you mean? I like if I need to talk about it and I want to tell my mom or my sister, you're saying we just can't talk about it. It's not like there are too many women that are going through that every single day and it breaks my heart. And so the more it gets discussed, like you're saying, the more difference can be made.
And I mean, not even just for women, but for men too. My foundation, we were just at a business, and we did a demonstration, and then we had a Q&A after. And because we're talking about these things, there was a man who asked a question, and his question was, how, as a man, can I recognize the red flags of other men who are dangerous, and what can I do? And I was like, thank you. I love you. That is exactly what we want you to be doing. That's exactly what every man should be thinking.
I
And
love that.
also, like, if you are a man and you have been abused, like, you should have the right to be able to share your story as well without feeling like embarrassment. I'll never forget, I went on a date once. Keep in mind, it was once. Um, and at the end of the date, the guy was asking me, he's like, oh, so you were raped like so many times. He's like, I just think that if I had been in your situation, I'd probably just get to a point where I just like lie back and enjoy it. Did you ever just lie back and enjoy being raped? And I was like, are you kidding me? Did you just ask me that question?
Is he still alive? Oh my
I
God,
have
what
no
did you
idea.
do?
I was like so shocked. I mean, he knew I was offended as soon as the words came out of his mouth. I was just like, how could you ask that question? Are you serious?
That's so repulsive. It's hard to believe that somebody would be that ignorant,
Yeah,
even as a joke, which it doesn't even sound like he was
it
trying to be
wasn't a
funny.
joke.
Oh God, it's still not an appropriate joke, but oh my,
I know, right?
his parents must be proud. That is horrible. Oh my, it's crazy too because you still remember that specifically, and I would never forget it either. It's because it's so horrifying.
Yeah. But I
Oh
mean,
my God.
like these conversations, they're not just for women. Like men need them. And ultimately, the only way that we can stop rapists or rapes from happening is if rapists don't rape anymore.
Right, right,
Like
and
we can teach women, men, children all the self-defense in the world, but there is no fail safe. It's a tool. It's a fantastic tool. Um, it is like the more education you have, absolutely, the less likely it is to happen to you. But at the same time, it still can. It still can. So gather your tools, get educated, like take all the steps, do all the things. But just realize like this is not just a woman's issue. This is a human issue. This is for everyone.
What is the actual website of your organization?
ElizabethSmartFoundation.org.
Love that. Love that. I started this whole podcast to emphasize the good people in the world because I feel like we're drowning in the negative news lately and daily. And you took the worst experience and you have helped changed others' lives. You've changed lives with it and you continue to do so. And I am so thankful that you are here, that you're thriving, that you took time to talk to me, and that you're going to continue to make a massive difference. And if people want to donate, can they do that at
Absolutely.
elizabethsmartfoundation.org too? Okay.
Please do. Please do.
You have a lot of initiatives, and I think that the more people can help out, the more you can make them happen quicker.
I mean, there's a lot of things I'd like to do.
I have no doubt you'll do them. Isn't she the most remarkable human? Honestly, I cannot say enough good things about Elizabeth Smart. We had so much fun just talking, like really after the interview was over, we chatted for another 20 minutes maybe. I finally had to let the girl go because I was like, holy cow, I could talk to you all day. You are just you're so real and down to earth and fascinating. And if you want to keep up with her or even make a donation, it is elizabethsmartfoundation.org. Just wish her nothing but the absolute best. I mean, that woman has every right to just kind of live her life and never be seen again, but instead chooses to be out in the spotlight to make a difference and raise awareness. And that's exactly the kind of person I'm looking for here on Aaron O'Malley's Feel Good Frequency. So if you know somebody, maybe in your community, maybe in your friend group, maybe you making a difference, just making the world a better place. Even if you don't think it's that big of a deal, it is. Every little thing makes a big thing. So let me know. Please reach out. I am on all social media. It's Aaron O'Malley's Frequency on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. You can fold up a little note and throw it over the desk. Oh, those are the good old times, huh? Now we're all on social media, so there you go. Oh, and excellent, exciting news for next week. I am going to have a Shining Bright Spotlight. Incredible people, a group of friends that are making a big difference for kiddos with terminal illnesses, with critical illnesses, and those with developmental disabilities as well. Wait till you hear what they are doing. I hope it becomes something that spreads across the nation because it's really, really special. And I have also decided that because I'm a one-woman band, organization is super important. And I wanted to streamline everything in a way that would make it very easy for you to reach out and very easy for me to keep track of all of the incredible people that are reaching out and want to be part of this podcast. So I have a website under construction that should be done by the end of this week. And I'm excited to share more with you about it. Just keep checking my social medias and you'll get all the info about that as well. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great week.